we're sitting here with the guy I'm going to bring up right now. We were trying to think of what other devices make noises.
Oh.
Like pacemakers, do they make noise? Just shut it down. I'm sorry, just for the movie. It's only 90 minutes. There's good news and bad news. The bad news you've already figured out is that Rita Moreno couldn't make it. She came to the cruise. She was a delight. She badly wanted to come. She's fine, but she couldn't make it. Traveling too challenging. So, but it does enable us to. So I give you a little backstage TCM stuff. So when the schedule comes out and we have Mario Cantone, who's on a lot with me. Mario is not Mario's not what you look. It's not a wallflower. If he has an opinion, he'll share it with you, and he always has an opinion. And so he wanted to actually do this interview with Rita Moreno because Terrence McNally means so much to him, as you're about to hear why. And so, on one hand, Rita not coming is terrible, but on the other hand, you get to hear Mario Cantone talk about a playwright who made a huge difference in his life. So please welcome Mario Cantone.
Oh, I feel like Eve Harrington tonight. Miss Channing. Oh, well, you know, it's funny because...
Can I explain the RC Cola real quick?
Really, with the RC Cola?
Well, people are like going to be like, how'd you get an RC Cola, right?
Go ahead, explain it.
Well,
Waste a minute on a commercial for RC Cola that you're not getting friggin' paid for.
The theater manager here is named Cola.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so we were referencing it, and she's, but she brings them every year for me. It's so nice, and other hosts too who like an RC Cola.
So every year you get them from
Yeah,
her?
it's
That's fascinating.
And it's very much. There's a whole other layer to it. Yeah.
Yes, there is. I did a game show called To Tell the Truth recently, a few years back, and Rita Moreno was on it with me, and that's how I got to meet her. And we spoke about this, and Poppy, and of course, What's Thy Story, the new one and the old one. We talked about this a lot, and she, because I really, look, this is not the play, it is the play, but this is a really good adaptation, and it was made really quickly.
Yeah, play in 75, movie in 76.
And it was at Yale, a repertory, and it was called Tubbs.
Oh, right, okay, because that...
Tubbs, which was like the nickname for the gay baths, which I'm sure you've all been to.
Oh, I thought it was a reference also to Jack Weston. Because also, I mean, I'm not making fun of him.
Because he was a chubby...
Because he was chubby, Chubby Chaser is what the...
Yeah, it was too. It was too, but the yeah, I guess so. But the idea came from, you know, Bette Midler playing at the Continental Baths in her early days. She would perform, and in Wayland Flowers and Madam, where they would perform in front of the pool with men in towels and do cabaret. And this was, you know, an amazing thing. This is a very famous part of Bette Midler's career that's known, and there's video of it. So Terrence got the idea to write a farce about a gay bathhouse.
And he'd seen Rita Moreno play the character she plays
At a party.
At a party.
So
This character she created, Googie Gomez, she creates at this party, you know, where she's laying on the accent, and she's very, you know, woman in your face, and that character who you saw at a party, he put into the play, in the Bette Midler role.
And she told me that day. I didn't realize that she, you know, it was her idea, that she created the character. And it's so funny, it's so brilliant the way she does it. It's fantastic. And there's so many good people in this movie. The late, great Treat Williams, who's just beautiful and really funny.
Really funny, and does something that you just don't expect, and this is the only thing I'll spoil. You think he's not going to do the thing he does for the whole movie, but he does.
Oh, he does. He does. Yeah. He's amazing. And Kay Ballard, who I knew really well.
Oh, I do love Kay Ballard.
She was a tough broad. I have opinions. She had way more opinions than I do. She was a tough one. She was so good to me too. And she was like, you know, my Italian angry mother. And I just adored her. But she's someone that would always say, you know, she felt she never got her due. If you read her book, she's pissed off. And you know what? Rightfully so. But she did have a great series called The Mother-in-Laws with Eve Arden.
I don't recall that show, but if it had, no, I don't. But you know, I have an enormously soft spot in my heart for Eve Arden.
Me too.
So the lead here is Jack Weston, and Jack Weston has become one of my favorite character actors over the last 17 years. So I'm going to read something from his obit, which I put into lead-ins when we had a night of Jack Weston films. But I like this very much. It says, like many of the characters he played, Mr. Weston was the quintessential New Yorker, which is to say he was born in Cleveland and lived in Los Angeles for 18 years, hating every minute of it he wasn't actually in front of the camera. So I already like him. And then he says, this is a Weston quote, every afternoon 3 something hits this town. It's called flash boredom. If you're an actor and not working, and you don't play tennis or golf, you can go stark raving mad. I know, I've lived here for 18 years. And then the next line is, Mr. Weston, who said he hated Cleveland too. Well, yeah. So I already like Jack Weston. He was and his parents, you know, so many times I do interviews and you find out that people who've made it and succeeded, they have these, you know, like Eli Roth, who we had do what you did last year. We had the live podcast at the festival.
Did you enjoy it this year?
Oh, this year was great.
Was it great?
Yeah,
Really?
this year
Was it
good.
really
The crowd
great?
loved it this year.
I'm sure
Yeah, they were really in the moment. Well, you'll hear it and you'll know.
Yeah, I'm
You'll
sure I
tell.
will. I'll compare it, I'm sure.
But Eli's success, he talks about how supportive his parents were, and Jack Weston was like a class clown getting bad grades, right? And his dad was like, let's put you in an acting class. Like, rather than, you know, it was supportive. And then he became an actor. He was in the Cleveland Playhouse as a kid with Paul Newman.
Paul Newman.
Yeah,
Well, you know, that's a common story. I was a class clown. I got shitty grades, and you know, I was like, I'm going to be an actor. My mother didn't push me into being an actor. She, you know, she thought it was a terrible business. She's a rotten business.
Right. Your mother's was a
singer years ago on the radio and a bookie.
Yeah.
And
that's a good business. That's a sound
She was a
business.
bookie. She was a compulsive gambler and a bookie. But she saw my sister who, you know, went to New York and did theater and cabaret and always auditioned, and it was always between her and someone else, and the other person would always get it. So my mother would say, it's a rotten business, don't do it. And I was like, I have to do it. I was like Patty Duke and Valley of the Dolls. I know it's a rotten business, but I love it. What else do you have to read? Any more biographies?
No, we're going to get to something else, but I want you to tell the story of why Terrence McNally matters to you.
Okay, well, let me just say this first. There are no, she didn't do it. It was F. Murray Abrams, Rita Moreno, and Jack Weston all did this on Broadway. Treat didn't, I don't think Kay Ballard didn't, but, which is a nice thing to, you know, when people get to play it, they did it on Broadway. Terrence McNally, in 1995,
And to people who don't know, one of the great playwrights of
you
the
know,
time.
and not only a great playwright, you know, Frankie and Johnny, he also was a great book writer for musicals. Kiss of the Spider Woman, Ragtime, the other one was Full Monty. He was magnificent. So in '95, Love, Valor, Compassion had played off Broadway. This is a play of his that's a great play. Anyway, and I met the director, Joe Mantello. He saw my stand-up and he called me and said, wouldn't you be great in this? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to do it. He goes, you'd be great in Nathan's part. And he's leaving after it goes to Broadway to go do Birdcage. So I auditioned Nathan Lane, who is my dear friend and I adore very much, and I think he's one of the greats.
Well, just real quick, Nathan Lane, we just had him on the air. He's going to be on later. I told him, and he was like, Mario. Go on.
Anyway, I just had dinner with him the other night, and where were you? So I auditioned, and I'm the worst auditioner in the world. So Joe and Terrence and all of them, I auditioned for like an hour, and then I took a break, and then I auditioned again. And I waited 2 friggin' weeks, and I went to Vegas for a corporate gig, and I was flying home, and I said to my husband, I was like, what if this plane crashes? I'll never know if I got the role or not. But it didn't crash, and I got off the plane, and the phone rang, and I got the part. And it changed my life. I mean, and I got Nathan's blessing. I'll never forget I went on 3 days earlier than contractually I was obliged to, and it was an amazing thing. And Terrence was so kind to me, and just he was very happy with it, and he changed my life. I mean, he's brilliant. He's brilliant, and he was a great loss too, because we lost him during COVID. I mean, he had some issues health-wise earlier, but we lost him because of COVID, which sucks.
The story that you're telling is a you know, I'm incredibly jealous of actors, especially in the theater, because you form these bonds, this company, right?
Oh, yeah.
And not everybody is as great as everybody else, but there's a lot of looking out for people, and you're gonna see the first big role on the screen here from F. Murray Abraham, who is sensational.
He's amazing.
And who we invited to be here too, and also badly wanted to come, but he's in a play right now, right?
Yeah.
But he did send this email to me. I did a piece on him for CBS Sunday Morning, and it's impossible not to love this guy. So he goes, here's my story of Rita and the Ritz. I replaced someone midway into their rehearsals, and the director, Bobby Drivas, okay? The director, Bobby Drivas, scheduled a solo rehearsal to jumpstart me. But instead of working with the stage manager, Rita Moreno skipped lunch and offered to prompt me herself, playing all the roles and feeding me setups for my punchlines. I've never forgotten that. We became quite close for the 10-month Broadway run, and then the movie in London. So, like, you know, they didn't know each other. And
No.
she's like, oh, here's this new guy, and he needs help, and I'm gonna help him.
There are some people that there are many people that are very kind, and when you replace somebody, which I did, I replaced Nathan. I mean, it was we were lifelong friends, and he wasn't even there during when I was doing the show. But those guys in that play, John Benjamin Hickey, Justin Kirk, Steve Bogardus, John Glover, like lifelong friends. You really, and then when you're done, and the play only lasted 6 months. I did it 6 months. And won the Tony Award for Best Play, and then, you know, it closed, because, you know, back then, especially a gay play, it was considered a niche thing. This was too. I mean, it ran for a while because it was a big-ass comedy, but, you know, thankfully the movie got made.
I'm guessing, I feel like the play had more singing and dancing in it, perhaps?
In the Ritz?
On the stage?
I don't know. I didn't see the original on Broadway. In 1983, there was a revival with Holly Woodlawn and Casey Donovan. I hear the gays laughing. He was a male porn star. He was a gay porn star. All right. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I don't even know what that was supposed to mean.
Yeah.
Haven't
That
seen
was
any of
the
this stuff?
fakest homosexual laugh. Don't even try. Don't even try it. You shouldn't even be here. Get the hell out of here.
Well, can I be say?
What?
All right.
Sure. What do you want to say?
Because this entire movie is set in a gay bathhouse.
Yeah, I know.
And I will tell you this, it does not make you not want to hang out at a gay bathhouse. Like, this is, like, this is fun.
They're having a great time.
It's festive, it's fun, they're looking out for each other.
Yeah, I mean, this was the 70s.
They could
when it
get
was
bigger towels, but they probably
No,
have that. by
that
now.
was the point, just to show a leg. Or a third one.
But it is fun.
But
By the way, they wanted to get chairs because they were afraid if Mara and I were standing and goof around too much, it would be disrespectful to read. Turns out it doesn't matter,
no, it
chairs.
doesn't
yeah,
matter.
that's
We
the
could get
main-
up and tap dance right now if we wanted to. So Hollywood on Casey Donovan in '83, it lasted one performance. Done. And then Joe Mantello, who directed Love, Alec, and Passion, and also Wicked, and Assassins, which is another Broadway show I did that Joe directed. He's one of the greats. One of the greats, Joe Mantello. He directed a revival of the Ritz, and it was really good. It was Rosie Perez and Kevin Chamberlain and Brooks Eschmanskis playing Chris, and he was magnificent. And also in this movie is Jerry Stiller, who I also love and adore, and is a beautiful man. He was a beautiful man. I keep thinking he's still alive because he's so fresh in my memory. I went to college with his sister Amy Stiller. So, and I knew Ben when he was 12, and I knew Ann. He was the warmest, most generous man in the world, and supportive. And he's another one that just worked till the end and was always brilliant, always. And he's great in this. He's so good in this.
Yeah, everybody's really good in this. It's a fun movie. Again, Jack Weston, Rita Moreno at the top, Brad Murray Abraham at the top of this cast, Jerry Stiller. But it's a terrific cast all the way around,
Yes.
and there's no way you're not going to enjoy it. Thanks for coming.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks,
Thank you. I had a dream about you, baby. It's going on through, baby. You say that but through. baby. You're been swell. You're big baby.
everything's coming up.
All right, now all of a sudden it's Russian. All right, I get it.
All right, good job. Thank you, everybody.